Many of you know me through sewing, storytelling, and creative projects. But creativity has always followed me into the kitchen too. Sometimes I make items of clothing and handmade bags, at times paper flowers, but sometimes it's a cooling rack full of bread and sweetbread, homemade cookies, or a simple fruit salad shared quietly at the table. I realized these moments belong here too. Not because Andrea's house or all my ways is about perfection, but it helps create a life filled with warmth, resourcefulness, beauty, and care. Across the board, homemade things have brought me warmth, practicality, and joy. There was a time when I was unfamiliar with baking and cooking from scratch. It was never difficult, but I was not as confident as I am today. My mother cooked and baked, as did my father, on a professional level. So I didn't have to do it. Baked goods were everywhere. Besides, it always seemed easier to buy things already made, to avoid the mess, the measuring, the uncertainty, and all the effort that goes into preparing homemade food. Yet, those thoughts were comforting, but only for a moment. The desire to bake and cook took root and refused to go away. So my creativity took over. I bought books and magazines and tried the recipes I liked. Over time, something changed. As I kept doing it, my self-assurance rose. Little by little, what once felt complicated became familiar. The more I baked, the more confident I became. The more I cooked, the more natural it felt. And guess what? Confidence changes everything. Once you stop feeling intimidated, homemade living becomes less stressful and more enjoyable. What once took all day begins to flow naturally. You learn shortcuts, you become organized. You understand timing and temperatures better, and eventually, creating food for your home no longer feels like pressure. It feels comforting, and rightly so, because food connects to comfort, creativity, memory, hospitality, and everyday beauty. Another thing I discovered is that making things from scratch can actually stretch what you have. Buying ingredients in bulk, preparing ahead, baking several things at once. Over time, you begin realizing that homemade living is not only creative, it can also be practical. And honestly, there's something satisfying about making more with your own hands. A tray of cookies, fresh bread and sweet bread cooling on a rack, homemade crackers, a simple fruit salad prepared with love and care. These things may seem small, but they create warmth inside a home. I also began realizing that homemade skills made giving easier. You can prepare for gatherings lavishly. You can contribute to bake sales, share and be very generous with neighbors, friends, family, church events, charities, and celebrations. And instead of feeling overwhelmed by entertaining, you begin looking forward to it. And what a lovely surprise. Instead of feeling exhausted, you feel invigorated and joyful. Research often talks about baking and cooking as stress relievers. And honestly, I understand why. There is something calming about measuring, mixing, preparing, arranging, and creating something nourishing from simple ingredients. For me, it is not just about food, it's about creativity, it's about care, it's about learning that beautiful things do not always have to be expensive or complicated. And maybe that is why these kitchen moments belong here in Andrea's house. Because creativity does not only happen at the sewing table. Sometimes it happens in the oven, sometimes around the kitchen counter, in the quiet joy of preparing something homemade for the people we love, including ourselves. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Here at Andrea's house and all my ways, we believe creativity is more than making things. It's a way of healing, expressing, rebuilding, and finding beauty in ordinary moments, whether through sewing, storytelling, paper flowers, thoughtful reflection, or simple everyday inspiration. I hope you leave here feeling encouraged. If that sounds like the kind of space you've been looking for, you are always welcome here. Until next time, keep creating, keep hoping, and take gentle care of yourself.